How's it going, friends? It's time for a bit of a brewski here that actually succeeded in a big tournament in a regional championship in Hartford. There's another brew I'm excited to try that was featured on coverage. But what do we have here in front of us? We have Roots by Jesse Perland or Pyland. I'm not quite sure how do you pronounce that last name, but very, very strong finish, top 8 in a huge tournament, qualifying for the Pro Tour. Almost qualifying for the World Championship as well. Really strong stuff with green-black roots. This is a deck that I recently had the experience of playing against a couple times in the Alchemy format or an Alchemy qualifier. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the cards are legal on Standard too. You don't have the rather broken Yakmosville type Shittiness Crawler that you do have, or Kitinus Crawler that you do have in Alchemy, but you still have some other stuff going on, and you kind of reproduce the power of Crawler, I suppose, with Osteomancer Adept and Tyvar, where you have that recursion element, and then the Adept that can cast any creature from your graveyard by foraging in addition to paying the mana cost. So it doesn't cast it for free, but it can cast creatures from a graveyard, which then will trigger the roots to give you tokens. And when you have Tyvar in play, all your roots will immediately make or have the ability to make mana. So what you can do is when you have Adept, a filled up graveyard, Tyvar, and a roots out, essentially every 1-drop that you can cast from your graveyard will be free if you have enough foraging fodder, which foraging, you need to exile 3 other cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. You do have not many foods. You might have some foods from the Crash Grab, but that's it. And only if you control a squirrel, you return a squirrel that way. But yeah, essentially if you have like 15 cards in a graveyard, you have a couple 1-drops, and you can cast all those 1-drops by tapping the roots, and then every plant token will grow bigger and bigger, so you can make a big board. And you can almost go infinite when you have like Snarling Gorehound. And not infinite in the literal sense of infinity, but when you have the Gorehound, every 1 mana, every like Llanowar Elf, Molt Tender, Rubblebelt Maverick, and every plant token you make will trigger the Gorehound, which will give you surveilling, so you can keep filling your graveyard, keep going with that loop, and then you have at the end of it, you can make a huge plant board with like a bunch of plants. At some point you mill over the Thrillseeker, and then you can cast the Thrillseeker, give the backup on a 20/20 plant, and then shoot them with that backup ability and kill them. You can also find Curious Forager, theoretically, cast that one, return Cauldron from your graveyard, and then exile the Thrillseeker that way, and then give all your plants that ability. That means you don't have to get to like a 20/20 plant. That means like when all your plants have that ability, because they have counters from the Cauldron, you might be able to go off, essentially not going through your entire deck or on fewer mana. So like there's various ways of doing things. There's also Dredger's Insight, where whenever a creature or artifact leaves your graveyard, you gain a life. So you can gain a lot of life by going through this loop. But essentially what you need, you kind of need those 3 cards to really do it. That's where you see those being the 4s, of course. Osteomancer, not the best card in multiples, just a 3 of. Yeah. And then we have all these 1-drops to speed us up. Llanowar Elf and Molt Tender to speed the deck up. We have Cash Grab, an Overlord to find us all these combo pieces. They look pretty deep and they find everything. Besides, I mean, the Overlord doesn't find roots, which is a little unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, Snarling Gorehound and Cash Grab are able to find you the roots as well as the Surveil from the Maverick. This deck really needs roots in play. Without roots in play, the deck, I mean, it just doesn't do enough. So that mulligans hinge on that. A lot of decisions hinge on that. Yeah, and that's sort of the weakness of the deck. Its liability in regards to roots. We see 2 copies of Haywire Mite in the main deck. Historically, Temporary Lockdown was also a very good card against this deck. Looking at, you have like 15 1-drops and Roots, like all the important cards. Besides Tyvar, able to get locked down. So if you get paired into a blue-white or a Jessica control deck in game 1, would be really, really difficult to win against Lockdown. But here we now have 2 Haywire Mites. So Jesse sort of having that covered. And I mean, Haywire Mite, considering that Corey Steelcutter is sort of like the most played and best threat in the format. Haywire Mite, great there. Really good with Tyvar, of course, to recur. And also nice with Cauldron. Yeah, also good for Osteomancer late game. You can recast it. Does a lot of little things. Yeah, this is a really exciting, successful brew. I mean, making the top 8 of a tournament is really impressive of regional championship HARTFORD. It sort of reminds me of the Pro Tour, the recent one, where Zevin Faust top 8'd out of nowhere at his first Pro Tour, with the black-green bean stack with like all the big creatures that were reduced by creatures in the graveyard. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at the sideboard with some Scavenging Ooze, graveyard hate deck that we can find with like Cash Grab and Overlord. Cankerbloom, more Haywire Mites essentially, but also this has the ability to actually pressure your blue-white or Jeskai opponent. Just play it on turn 2, or even Omniscience and play it on turn 2 to actually deal them damage. Free power is no joke. 2 copies of Obstinate Baloth for Pixie. We have 1 copy of Harvester of Misery, and 2 copies actually of Harvester of Misery. Just some early removal, but also sweep ability against low to the ground creature strategies. Another Haywire Mite, a 2nd copy of Dredger's Insight, which I'm not really sure what the idea is behind that one. This is a type of card that you don't normally see in sideboards. Maybe the life gain aspect being relevant. Maybe it fits some type of sideboarding strategy. We have 1 copy of Qarsi Revenant. We can move that over. And then we have also some 4-drops here that are powerful in themselves. The Swarmweaver, very, very powerful card. I mean, Delirium shouldn't be too trivial to achieve, and this just stabilizes you pretty well. And maybe just an overall underplayed card in Standard. I certainly like to see it here. I mean, if your Delirium is enabled, it's just a bonkers play. 4 mana, make 2 flyers that have Death Touch. Like, that's just crazy. And then Skyfisher Spider is a Vindicate effect. You can sacrifice another creature where you have, of course, a ton of fodder here to kill a thing. And when it dies, you may gain 1 life for each creature card in your graveyard. So actually both abilities pretty relevant. 4 mana for a free, not that good. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a Vindicate effect, a Maelstrom Pulse type of effect that is attached to a permanent, this is perhaps one of the better options you can find. Similar to Disruptive Stormbrood, another removal attached to a creature. You really see the theme here, really going on synergy. Most of these, actually every card in the sideboard is a permanent. Not messing around with any like Paw Patch formations or Heritage Reclamations, just everything's a permanent. Staying on track, wanting all the creatures you can get for Overlord, for Cash Grab, and what else. So yeah, I mean, that's certainly makes sense, really going deep on the synergies. And a great Arashin City, which is a pretty neat card actually with... I'm surprised to not see at least 1 copy in the main deck. It seems kind of awesome with Insidious Roots in play. Just having this land that, makes more guys. I mean, the reason why you don't have it, I guess, because it's a tapped swamp and you only have 5 forests. If one of these dual lands would be an actual forest type, you would run it in the main deck, but with just 5 forests, certainly you don't really want to play tap lands. I understand that you wouldn't want to run it, although I'm not sure. I mean, I could see running it. It would be the first tap land. That is doable, I'd say, over a swamp. I think that's totally reasonable to do, actually. Oh, only 20 lands in total. I just saw that. Okay, that's very low on land drops. I guess between all the digging and 8 1-drops and Maverick on turn 1, I guess that's reasonable. All right, well, I'm certainly excited to try this. Enough of deck tech. Let's get into it. Bit of a painful hand. It looks reasonable. It doesn't have roots. This does not find Tyvar either. I understand why Dredger's Insight is not desirable. It just doesn't find Tyvar or roots, two of your most important cards. It has a fast start, I guess. I'm inclined to keep it. Llanowar Wastes being my only green land right now isn't optimal, to be fair. Alright, if Curry Steelcutter gets a fast draw on you, that is certainly problematic. Like a Burst Lightning here. Opt. I mean, that's no Drake Hatcher at least. Like, no 2-drop pressure. What's his rage? Yeah, that's a good amount of damage. Okay, so now I have to go inside. Fill up my graveyard, and then I can use the Molt Tender. I did find a roots. I think I'm taking Overlord. Just want to fill up my graveyard. The Osteomancer I can get back with Tyvar. And then I'll play this. Exiling roots, I guess. I didn't gain a life that way. If I exile a creature, I gain a life with the inside. But I might... Yeah, maybe I should have exiled the Molt Tender. The Dredger's Insight is certainly going to be useful. Cash grab. It's a little slow here. Like, I'm thinking what I'm going to do next turn. But maybe it's better in a random card. I mean, I really just want to find roots at this point. I have kind of everything else. I could play Tyvar next turn and get the Molt Tender back. It's just all in on the Swift Spear. What you can also do in this deck is you can play like 2 mana dorks and then play an Overlord on turn 3. Just hard cast. It's pretty sizable thing to be doing in standard. Lines up well into Prowess at least, at 5/5. Okay, post-combat Stormchaser Talent. Definitely missed sequence there. Should have opted pre-combat. No burn spells. Certainly getting in a territory of potentially dying to like a second Monster's Rage here. So I have to be a little bit careful. No free cards, you may return. This guy, and then I can gain 1 life and then cast another Molt Tender. It's not super exciting. It does build a bit of a board. And it loses me 1 life, but it gains me 2 life in the process. And the next turn, if I find roots, I win, kinda. Other options to like cash grab into a roots and then chump block the order here, and then next turn try to kill them. Wow. The rope almost got to me. I don't know what exactly is the correct move there. Oh, they shocked it. Wait. They do have shock, yeah? Okay. They were holding on to it. Alright. I don't know about that. I think if I would have just killed the Molt Tender, personally speaking, like, I think trimming on the mana is pretty good. Okay, well, I can chump block with the Maverick. The Maverick... Oh, this actually also makes mana, right? But I don't have a card in the graveyard. But I can mill with it. Yeah. Molt Tender has been a fantastic addition from Aether Drift for the archetype. That is for sure. There's also a Seda Wayfinder, I think, in the next set. But it only finds lands, so it's probably not that much better than Dredger's Insight. In Final Fantasy, we have a 2-mana 1/1 that mills 4 and takes a land from the 4 cards you milled, I think. It's essentially Seda Wayfinder. With slight upside of, like, if you hit a town, you gain 2 life or something. Town being the new land type. They both attack Tyvar, I mean. My Tyvar is gonna die. The question is, do I want to chump with the Maverick? How is this gonna proceed? How am I gonna win without the Tyvar? I think I'm just gonna take it. I certainly should not forget to activate my Molt Tender. There's no point in me chumping here. Oh. They attacked me with that. Oops. I thought that... My bad. I thought it was attacking. I should have probably blocked there. That's on me. Okay. I guess I'll Overlord here. What happens if I hit a Roots? I can play it like who Roots with the cash grab. Tricky. This deck is not easy to play. Like, especially when you're just starting out on it. There's a Gorehound and lands. I could play the Gorehound. Then cast like 2 Llanowar Elves. No, I can only cast like 1 Llanowar Elf. Oh no, I did get a food now. This deck. I can also play the Adept. Probably better to play. I don't. The rope is getting to me. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I almost got knocked out there. Just fill my graveyard. Gosh, damn. I'm not sure. The Dredger's Insight is doing work here for sure. I would lose my Osteomancer, but I think that's okay. So now I have to do this. Yep. I gain 2 more life. I'm gaining life, filling my graveyard. Yeah, we're doing it the fair way, I guess. Now I have 7 mana next turn. They're flooded on the quadruple verge over there. Yeah. I can start playing these Haywire Mites to prevent trample from happening. I can like block, destroy. So if I block here and they have a rage, that is 7 power, so 6 trample. And here it would be 5, so 11. If they have any other spell, I die. So I die to rage plus spell. I don't think I'm like in a position though where I'm able to put more stuff in front. I think maybe my mess up was not blocking last turn on the order. I don't know. Yeah, if they have another rage, I'm just dead. Okay. So I have 7 mana. What do I do next turn? I could just play in 5/5. Ooh, that's good. That's gotta be pretty good for me. Okay, now we can make a pretty big board, I believe. Where do we start is the question. I think I'm starting by Overlord for 2 mana to fill my graveyard. Then we go from there. I did pain myself there, which maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just Molt Tendered for a black. Okay, but there's a Tyvar. I can cast that. That's gonna be huge. Yeah. Okay, so now I can exile this. Maybe this. Doesn't really matter too much. Well, I kind of want to cast this. I can cast this for 2 mana, I believe, from a graveyard. Wait a minute. So I play Tyvar. Exiling these two. I don't know, make some. Yeah, I think that might actually be the call. Green. Also, yeah. I mean, it's either I exile Overlord or I'm just gonna cast the Overlord with a pending here. The rope going off while I'm literally not able to do anything is the most ridiculous arena mechanic that exists. There's nothing stupider than that. I'm just gonna get this up to 4. So it can't get. Wait, I can't cast the impending? Okay, I must have misremembered that somehow. Well, it's not the worst as we do have this Overlord, which we can cast. Okay, well then that was certainly a mess up. I should have left in the other guy. That was certainly not great. But okay, we're learning. So now I play Gorehound. Actually pretty low on toughness right now. Yeah, this didn't work out that well. I'm wondering if I should even play the Haywire Mite. I mean, at this point, there's no. Yeah, okay, I screwed up. If I would have had the Rubblebelt Maverick, this would have been way better. I think now I'm just gonna pass the turn. Well, I could have gone off, perhaps. I screwed up. I thought you could cast this for 2 mana from your graveyard. That's... You may cast creature spells from your graveyard foraging in addition to... I'm like a little bit surprised, but... What does impending say? If you cast a spell for its impending cost... I really thought you could do that. It doesn't like specify it has to be from hand. Maybe I was able to do that, and Arena was just doing Arena things. They both attack me. I don't know. Well, I do like my position though. I can't say I don't like it. I could die, but they didn't have rage this last turn, so... Somewhat unlikely. I mean, we'll see. Right. I lost my Hound, but that's okay. I have plenty of fodder, and even if they kill my Osteomancer, I have Tyvar on 4, so I can get the Osteomancer back. And yeah, I'm basically set up to win this turn, I think. But the rope is not. The rope is my enemy, so I do have to I do have to be quick. I just have to start with this, get the Gorehound in play. I could have also milled with Tyvar, but leaving Tyvar on 4 is probably advisable. Play the Gorehound, exile some cards. Now I have the Surveiller, I'm getting more plants. I have a bunch of 1-drops I can play to surveil more, and I have a ton of mana now. I'm like actively confused as to why I can't cast that. Do I just like, what if I do this? No? I'm like, whatever. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's cast this. I guess I should have used an elf. Yeah, I shouldn't use plants that don't have summoning sickness, because these guys actually attack for maybe a ton of damage. So that was actually another mistake. These guys could be 20/20 right now, right? Like in this turn. So I should keep all of them around so I can actually attack via damage. That will save me save me precious time that I might need. But I can untap it with Tyvar, I guess, so it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty deterministic here to have the kill. I could, yeah. I mean, not deterministic, I guess. I mean, I'm only surveilling 1. I can mill more with Tyvar. Can I draw that? I don't think I can. So there's no point in me keeping it. I guess I can just cast an Overlord. This is a new plant. No, it's gonna be difficult to cast this Overlord, I'm actually realizing. I think I have to activate my Tyvar. I might be missing things here as well. I could crack my Haywire Mite to get rid of something and then get it back, because like now I don't even have a 2-drop in my graveyard, so I could actually miss. I guess I can cast. Yeah, I did miss. Great. Milling cards is good though, as it gives me more fodder to do my things. Black, green. The rope is just such a nightmare. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna rope out here. That's crazy. I hate this game sometimes. This is just unreal. Like, I literally clicked all the buttons I could, but the rope was just running. Like, it doesn't... I have to calculate with, like, how much more time? Like, what the heck is this nonsense? Seriously. Like, I basically just exiled a bunch of cards from my graveyard just now. Like, it was just really bad for me to do everything like this. That's so annoying. Why does it show me I can do this now? But now it tells me I can do it for 2 mana? Huh? Can someone explain? Did I not have enough cards in the graveyard the last time I tried to? Did I not have enough foraging fodder? What a nightmare to play this deck on Arena. What a nightmare to play this deck on Arena. I mean, you have to really have the reps, I guess. Well, my opponent had a pretty medium draw. Flooded out pretty hard. Only one Torture Tower is into action. So yeah, I don't know if this is representative, but yeah, we did our thing, I guess. So Dredger's Insight was impressive to me. Gaining me a lot of life. Qarsi Revenant might be good too. Maybe. Like, you can make a big plant and gain some life. I guess those are like the two reasonable options. Maybe Haywire Mite. What is bad, potentially? It's also Ghost Vacuum, right? So I kind of do want to have more stuff like Haywire Mite, probably. I think maybe I don't need the Curious Forager in this matchup. Maybe same for the Cauldron. No, if I no, actually that's not true. The Cauldron can be nice. I think I'm gonna keep the Cauldron. The Cauldron is just decent with a lot of these. Like, I'm honestly a little surprised to not see more Cauldron, because you can just turn all the other guys also into mana dorks and whatnot. Might just shave one elf and add a Dredger's Inside. I don't want to mess around too much with the core of the deck. Could cut like an Overlord maybe for a Revenant. The Dredger's Insight and Overlord are somewhat similar. I mean, Overlord being a creature itself is important. It's just so important to have creatures in a graveyard. For Molt Tender to exile, to just trigger your roots, essentially. This is a forest, so yeah, the hand seems pretty reasonable. Molt Tender turn 1. A shock on your turn 1 Llanowar Elf is certainly not optimal. But, I mean, I have a second one. I'm just going to play into it. Okay, they don't have it. Wow. Okay, interesting. What to do now? I kind of want to find... They don't have a shock. We know that. Maybe I should just play Rubblebelt into Osteomancer. I also have a Tyvar. I kind of want to get a squirrel out so I get a food with this. And the best thing I could be doing is like find roots here. Like, if I find roots, I can then play another Molt Tender and next turn go crazy with the roots. If I have some creatures in the graveyard, which I can fill maybe with the Rubblebelt. I can also play a little bit more of a grindy game and just block this other with this Osteomancer. I'm not even sure what's going on over there. Like, what does their hand consist of? Maybe Cutter? This is really difficult to play. I think I'm just gonna take a forest. And then I'm just gonna exile a forest, a swamp for another Molt Tender, I guess. That was the line. I didn't hit the roots, unfortunately, but yeah. More ways to find roots would be really good for this deck. But no Cory Steelcutter. So they drew the Swift Spear this turn. Interesting. It's just a really weird draw. I guess I could have cast a Rubblebelt there. Oh, wow. Well, that was good. Okay, wow. Now we can do things. I have a Molt Tender here, so I can play Roots. And then I can play Tyvar, get back the Molt Tender, get a plant, and I have 2 active creatures that can make mana. Yeah, I think I should just go for the sort of combo here. I think it's reasonable to do that. Okay, hit a Qarsi Revenant and 2 creatures. Now I can exile one of these, make another plant, play Osteomancer, and then play a Rubblebelt. The Osteomancer can't cast anything though. I think I'm out of things to do here, unfortunately. I could Qarsi Revenant one of these plants to get another plant. Because like my Osteomancer actually doesn't do anything right now. I guess I'll play the Rubblebelt. I could have like played Rubblebelt and hit like more. That's gotta be good. That's interesting too, to be honest, but maybe that's actually good. God, the rope is really just messing with me. I don't know if that's actually like they're gonna kill the Tyvar. Here's my thinking. So having another Tyvar might be desirable. So I can like keep comboing off, but then I should have binned the roots actually, because if I activate my Tyvar there, it's like my graveyard is kind of low on cards. If I play another roots, my roots go really crazy though. So it's tough. I don't know. Both seem excellent. Wait a minute. I want to block the Swift Spear. They attack with 2 others on my Tyvar. So now I have another Tyvar, and I have 9 mana. And I have Osteomancer. I have roots on top. So I can play Tyvar again. Wait a minute. Let me play my Osteomancer. No. I don't have any food. I need like stack is a rain. Difficult to play for sure. Okay, let's play this. Let's tap you and you, I guess, for Tyvar. If they kill my Osteomancer, okay, they don't. So now I guess I have to activate Tyvar. Tyvar probably is the real pronunciation. Get this thing. I'm still on 0 ropes because that's just how we roll. Mill a bunch. Okay, we're gonna try again to cast this Overlord for 2 mana. Maybe it's gonna work. I can also mill with the Molt Tenders because I have a lot of mana. Can I do it? I can do it. So I was correct all along, just something else didn't work, I guess. Okay, well, that's good. And that makes sense why you want to have 4 Overlords then. If you can cast it for 2 mana, it's so much better. Okay. That's a pretty bad hit. Okay, I'm kind of running low on mana now. What I can do is I can make another Mite here. I can kill something and then get it back. Eats up a lot of my graveyard, to be fair. Maybe I was meant to... maybe I was meant to just mill with the Molt Tenders. It's a really intricate deck. I feel like... it's not that easy to play, for sure. Having 2 roots out certainly makes things more chill. Having food, like I wonder if there's a card you could run that makes randomly some food tokens that could help go off. It could help you go off. Do I have a float more for my poor plant? Aww. Alright, fair enough. Okay. Well, it did create a lot of power. Yeah. You got it. I'm at 18 life. Like, I'm kind of winning. My opponent didn't have Curry Steelcutter again. Just conceding. Yeah, I mean, I did have... well, that was, I guess... That was what we wanted to do. It was just me struggling with the rope. That was the battle this match. Hopefully I can play a little bit faster and tighter for the next one, I suppose. Play first. Yeah, it's a bit of a clunker. I would have maybe kept with a Mana Dog. I think I'm just keeping this. I'm not happy about it, but I don't want to go to 5. I can go 1-drop into double 1-drop, hopefully. Where's my Nano Elf? Oh, okay. Okay, well, Swamp is a start to bigger dreams, I guess. Kitsa, okay. Not much reason not to play this out, I think. I am now looking for mill effects, like Overlord, Cash Grab, or Tyvar. All of those are premium at this point in the game. Just to get my roots going and the train sort of chugging along. Keats getting in there. Alright, I guess I'll just jump with this. I think I just want that in the graveyard. So I can make 2 roots next turn. Oh, that's mean. Okay. Well, I guess you got me. Could have played that pre-combat. I guess they weren't sure if I wanted it in the graveyard, and now they got the assurance that I did. No good 3-mana play is surprising. Well, that's all I got here. I could easily lose this game by just drawing more blanks like Llanowar Elf and lands, or I could draw some of my payoff. No looting, no extra damage. Yeah, that looked like a missed damage. Guess we're in platinum. It's the mid of the month. I can't expect my opponents to play well. That's gonna make short work of me. Yeah, Haywire Mite, while good against lockdown decks and good against Curry Steelcutter, it's not as good. I wonder if I should use Swamps. Probably just use Swamp. Actually, if I hit an Overlord, I might want to use Swamp Overlord to like use these to cast it. And if I hit a Gorehound or a Llanowar Elf, which I don't know, I would like to be able to cast those as well. Best find, yeah, like Overlord and Tyvar would be, I think, the best finds here. Okay. Now things get interesting. I mean, they don't make mana right now. Just the unfortunate part, but I at least grow a sizable board here. That was a rather poor mill. I was really looking for I don't know, Rubblebelt Maverick at least. Something like that. Okay, I mean, we have a bit of a board now. And yeah, I mean, I'm on a clock. But it looks like I have 2 more turns at least. If I draw a good card next turn, like another cash grab or something like that, also I milled a lot of them, we are in business. Yeah, Haywire Mite good against Lockdown deck, good against Core Steelcutter, but pretty terrible in this matchup. There's going to be, I guess against Mono Black with the Demon's Archetype, you can kill an Annex. Against, you can't even destroy creatures with this, so you can't kill Enduring Curiosity against Dimir. So it's really bad in some matchups, but yeah. I mean, at least it like triggers Gorehound, it's a creature in the graveyard, maybe a chump blocker that gains you 2 lives. So, you know, worst case, it still does a thing here and there. No reach, I think. Certainly makes my deck vulnerable to something like a Murktide, Apparent Oculus card. That's a blank, pretty much. We do get a Surveil. Maybe I can hit a Rubblebelt Maverick. I did. Okay. Okay. Oh shit, I missed an opportunity to blow this up. No, I was tapped out, wasn't I? Yeah, I was tapped out. I couldn't have blown this up with the Mite. Well, okay. I guess. So 2/2/2/2 3/3. This becomes a 6/7. This becomes a 5/6. This becomes a 4/5. This becomes a 3/4. I mean, I want to go to town with probably these 3. Oh, I get more Surveils actually, right? Oh, that's interesting. Just make this a 5/6, I guess. I think that's how it works, right? Like, they have counters, but they get the counters afterwards. Yeah, and they're also tiny, so I definitely don't want that. So yeah, I mean, I can actually set up my next draw step this way. And that one is a good one. Okay. Let's attack with these 3. I could also attack with the 3/4, but it also is a good blocker, kinda. They can just like double block it. Okay. Certainly a game. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Well, does that mean they have like another Oculus here, probably? It's a pretty aggressive line in terms of like all out like chump blocking. Just like chump blocking with your 4/4 instead of these 2/2s. What are these guys? I think I know. Like, yeah, I guess I know. It's a fear of missing out, right? A fear of missing out makes sure that this attacks twice and kills me. That is not enough. Yeah, they have 2 of them. Okay, yeah, well, I can't stop the Delirium. GG. Yeah, I mean, Oculus makes some sense that this matchup is bad for Roots, as Oculus itself is such a banger in the matchup. Like, I literally have 0 cards with reach. No continuous chump blocking. If I had anything with reach that game, I could have maybe, like, you know, Tyvar it back, chump block again, you know. No reach. Okay, that makes me think of something like Swarmweaver, for example. Scavenging Ooze appealing too. Haywire Mite not so much. Also doesn't kill fear of missing out, so really not that appealing. Yeah, it's like Ooze, Qarsi Revenant, and Swarmweaver. The Spider, maybe. It's a lot of cards. If you can trim the Forager again. The Ooze is kind of interesting too. It is an enabler for Roots in a way. I think I'm trimming an Elf. I'm not sure if 4 Elf is correct. Like, Elf is a tricky card. In this game, I was kind of flooded on them, which cost me. Plus the Haywire Mite. Like, this sort of felt like a mulligan to 3 almost. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't need Elf 2/3 and the first Haywire Mite. So dangerous game to play when you have. I wonder sometimes if you trim this, like, I think maybe not in this matchup, as they can kill you in the air, but against decks that can't sweep your board, I think just making 20/20 roots seems good enough, you know. No, I can't cut that. Also seems kind of difficult to draw your entire deck, not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. You need Tyvar, you need the 2/2, the scroll, you need Gorehound. Like, one Gorehound isn't really enough. I don't know, this hand seems fine. It doesn't seem great. I don't have the roots. Maybe I'm supposed to mulligan it? I guess I'm just... well, no, I can't. I can't cast Tyvar. Hit a Maverick. That's good. No fangs. Okay. I don't have much going on right now. But we can like jump and then Tyvar again and dig towards roots. Sure. Voldaren Thrillseeker. Qarsi Revenant. I guess I'm just gonna hardcast that one, huh? Don't think I'm using my Tyvar this turn. Because I guess I could have threatened the triple block here. Mako. Do have Delirium, but they can't attack right now at least. Okay, well, that changed. Okay, are you attacking into my Revenant? Wow. Okay. Well, I don't mind that. Oh, I see, because they can make this a 4/5. Yeah, I mean that's okay by me. Like, they're gonna attack me for 4. I'm just gonna Spider the fear there. Yeah, I guess they're gonna attack me for 8 actually, huh? Oh, well, I go to 15, sure. Oh no, they attack me for more than 8. They attack me for more, yeah. Yeah, that's strong. Let me mill 1. Am I soaking up 6 here? With the Tender? I don't know how I feel about soaking up them. I think I don't, because I have to sack something into the spider as well. I'm really good at sacking these, like milling these cash grabs. Love to draw them. I think Llanowar Elves is a little worse in this stage of the game. It's like the milling is relevant. Marco into a scholar. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the roots decks. Without roots, it looks really pathetic at times. You do have Overlord, which is, you know, a powerful card that does do things. But yeah, I didn't draw Overlord or roots, and my deck looks like I'm just playing these 1/1s into, you know, bad stuff. I guess I have an Ooze now I can get back here. To mess a little bit, and like, yeah, I mean, that's gonna be pretty good, I guess. Osteomancer. Osteomancer can cast me the Ooze. And also these Llanowar Elves are freebies. Yeah, that seems like a good idea, I guess. I have a pretty filled up graveyard after all. I also have access to this now. But I don't have any surplus mana. So these elves cost me essentially 4 cards, putting me down to 6 in graveyard, and then this Ooze cost me another 4 cards. So that's 12 cards in total used up. No, this is actually more because I have to use some of this as well. So I think I can only get 1 elf back, actually. The Blooming Marsh being a little costly. Yeah, I mean, if I get the elf back, I would have to spend, I think, too many important cards, so I can't do that. Having the spider in the graveyard is actually pretty nice. So you can recast it with Osteomancer. You may gain 1 life for each creature card in your graveyard if you do exile this creature card. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want it in my graveyard. I think I'd rather mill a card than like activate my Ooze here. Okay. Okay. Let's activate Osteomancer. Oh man, this deck is complicated to play. So the obvious line is to just like blow away the Steam Core Scholar for sure, right? The Rubblebelt is sort of good because it's free-ish in a way. But I have to make some math again, so I would have to exile like these 3, then Surveil 2. I can also mill with the Molt Tender. I have a ton of mana, right? But man, I can also do Thrillseeker stuff. This is complicated. Let's make a mana. Let's untap here. Just make more mana. I have 2 mana open. I don't really know what that means. Just gonna get a finality counter if I... The robe is not my friend today. That is for sure. I mean, I have a time bank too, at least. But yeah, this deck is hella complicated to play, I feel like. Let's sack this elf. Let's kill that. I mean, this guy can kind of attack. Just get gigantic. I think that's just a move, right? They block? Now? Oh. That makes sense. No, I can't even like recast it. Yeah, that's not great, I guess. I can get rid of this. That puts them far off from Delirium. Or they only have, well, yeah, it kills the Delirium, essentially. That's what it does. Not far off, but it does get rid of Delirium. Okay, that Destroy Evil of all things. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I'm playing a Roots deck. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing the Overlord, especially in this game. Like Roots and Overlord. We're like 30 cards deep into the library and we didn't find sort of like 2 very important cards. Especially in like grindy settings. I can't even exile it now. It's just, it already is exiled. I like the deck because it's just something totally different than what I'm used to, you know? It's just very different Magic from the other standard deck. So that's definitely nice and unique. I guess I can play this guy and then cast a Rubblebelt, exiling this, and this. To try to surveil myself into something useful. I can also mill with the Molt Tender before. Maybe I hit Overlord. Overlord would be a nice thing to cast right now. I did hit an Overlord. Okay. Alright. Well, what does that mean? I could just cast it for 5. That's pretty reasonable. I could cast it for 2 mana. Get like the Revenant back into play. That's also pretty reasonable. And then cast Gorehound. Don't have that much fodder. I think I'm just gonna cast it for 5. I hit another Ooze. The Ooze doesn't seem that impressive here, although it does get rid of the Glacial Dragonhound, I guess. I would have to exile 4 cards though. Yeah, that doesn't seem good. So I'm just getting this back. No, I also was miscounting. What? Exile 3 cards, bro. This is just such a joke of a game. Like this whole root stuff. Where's my graveyard even? Like my graveyard is, I can't even touch my graveyard right now. Like I was not able to. This is just so messy and bugged and horrible. Like they asked me to forage and I couldn't click on anything. It's so horrible. It's so bad. I almost want to get the Death Touch creature. Just so this Mako doesn't annoy me any further. It's been rather frustrating to play this deck, not gonna lie. I think I need to get the Gorehound going. Alright, so now I click these. Are you kidding me? Is this just bugged? Are you serious? It's just bugged. Okay, so Roots is unplayable on Arena. So it's not on me, it's just unplayable on Arena. I can't exile any of these cards because I can't touch my graveyard right now because I have not a single card that isn't a thing. So now if I do this, now I can actually do this. Okay, so I need, so it's bugged in a very weird way. That's funny. Okay. Okay, well, fair enough. I guess I learned how it works. Oh my god, I hate everything about this. Oh, okay. Alright, that stays. Play this guy, pass the turn. Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, so we learned something there. It cannot use your graveyard if you don't have like a land or a Tyvar or a cash grab or an Insidious Roots in your graveyard. That doesn't actually like is a utility when you've activated Osteomancer Adept. Crazy. Okay. At least now we have a good flying blocker. I was missing that in game 1. We also have Swarmweaver Adept. No, sorry, we have the, what's it called? It's not Swarmweaver Adept. It's Swarmweaver, just Swarmweaver. Not everything is an Adept. Yeah, it's just Swarmweaver. We have that in our deck as well. To get more flyers. But the delivery and part, I guess, is a little tricky. Alright, what's the plan next turn? I have no rope, so it's going to be, again, a little tricky to play this. But I have double Gorehound. I'm probably gonna... I hope I'm gonna be able to kill my opponent. So... I guess I'll mill a card. Okay. So I go Roots. I guess I should have done this first. I do this. And then I do this. Might be tricky to win actually, because I only have 17 cards left. It's really annoying that you can't draw. I can just keep that and then go off next turn, maybe. If they kill my Tyvar, I can't go off that easily. Like they can just Glacial Dragon on my Qarsi. Jesus Christ, this deck. So with just this one Roots and 13 cards in my library, I mean, I could feasibly make a pretty big board. Somehow, some way. I'm not quite sure how, but okay. I kind of need a bigger library size at this point. Well, that gives me more blockers in the air, which is kind of decent. Okay, so I have 3 mana right now. Elf makes a mana. I guess that's what you have the Forager for, so you can, like the 3/2 that, so you can actually get the roots back from your graveyard in situations like these. Okay. Down to 8 cards in library. Yeah. Maybe surveilling is bad at this point. Maybe I actually shouldn't surveil so I can actually milk the Overlord. Oh, now we're in this situation again. I'm just gonna leave the roots on top. I don't even know if that's a good idea. Don't have Delirium right now. It's huge. Oh man, this deck is a pain to play. Don't really have any attacks. I mean, I guess I could attack with this. So what I can do with this Molt Tender at least, I can like play roots next turn and then, oh, they can try to deck me with the Lauren. Okay, so I gotta be very careful with my surveilling at this point. Yeah, I can maybe, I can make my plans bigger with the second ability here, right? That does not mill me at least. Ugh. Seriously. I don't have a single Haywire. I don't have a Haywire Mite left in my deck. I do have Voldaren Thrillseeker though. And I have a Cauldron actually. Okay. Oh, I have a Cauldron left in my deck, guys. That's the plan. I can surveil towards the Cauldron, but then I can't draw it. I can't cast it. That's what you need the Forager for, I see. Yeah. Oh, these guys make mana. That's funny. Because they're insects. No? Creature tokens. Any creature tokens make mana. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I have a Cauldron. This game has been wild. I'm also at 840 right now. Okay. High noon. Okay. I mean, I guess it does stop the combo, doesn't it? Alright, well. Wait, so I could mill one card, and then I could cast the Thrillseeker, get my Qarsi Revenant back. Then I still have a 9/9 in play. No, I can't cast my guy. Oh man. I don't know how I'm getting out of this situation. I can make pretty big plans, I guess. I guess I just have to. Yeah, I guess I just have to draw Cauldron. Just have to draw it, find it, surveil into it. There it is. Okay, so leave it on top. And the next turn, I should be able to kill them. Okay, so I think I'm free to attack with these guys. Yeah. I don't really need them anymore, and I actually want creatures in my graveyard so I can make more, can make bigger plant tokens. They see that as well. And I'm gonna untap my Molt Tender. I could have also attacked with some of these plants here. I would have lost my 6/7, but they would have kind of had to take 11. I think they don't have Graveyard Hate. We're kind of looking good. What a wild game. Another Sheltered. It might not actually be enough, because that Thrillseeker is like a bazillion damage. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's enough. Like the Tyvar doesn't really matter here. I should just start to play faster because I need that time for my last game. I'm down to 4 cards. I don't need to do that. What a game. What a wild game. I have a ton of damage here. It's a lot if this Cauldron lives. If they have a way to mess with my Cauldron, I might be in trouble. Like an upgrade. That's bad. Alright, fair enough. They had it covered. So I have 3 cards in my library. Put one lot. No, I can't do that. No, I have to leave. I have to leave everything on top. I can just attack with these 4 at this point. Don't have another creature. I just found the roots a little too late. They have something to cycle? No? Okay. Yeah, but they just have too much life, probably. They can't kill me. They are 29. What a weird game. It was kind of close in the end. You certainly get to see some of the flaws of the deck. Where when you don't find the roots, it's just really struggles. And my opponent's postboard configuration was so hateful. Berries destroy evil effects, shelter by ghost twice, High Noon, Abrade, Lawrence, like they had all the hate. And to be fair, I mean, Lauren, like, you know, disenchants aren't too bad in a format where Curry Steelcutter is so important, right? But yeah, that shelter by ghost kind of got me. The Abrade too. The Abrade was the nail in the coffin in a way. So now they're at 31. And I have 1 turn to kill them. I don't think I have it. Don't think this is enough. I would be surprised if it is. Yeah, I mean, bigger library size would have made the difference here. Or maybe me surveilling less aggressively at a given point in the game. Maybe I should have left, like... Yeah, I think maybe I punted and not leaving the roots on top. I played, like, too aggressively in a sense. It certainly seems like experience matters a lot with this deck. Yeah, it's just not close to enough, right? They could have also had to uncrash the block. 16 life left. GG's. I might have just milled too aggressively with the like I should have maybe just kept every roots that I found. And then play like the slower game where I can maybe accumulate more and more roots. And then excel my card, like be very like patient with the sort of game plan. That was potentially the mistake here. But yeah, this deck seems really tricky to play. And in comparison, like shout out to Jesse who mastered it to a top 8. Like in comparison to something like is it Steelcutter, so it's so free, right? Like you don't have to use much brain power. Not saying that the Izzet deck isn't like it's not easy to play either, but like it's much easier to play. And while I said in the past that I think Jeska Oculus is one of the hardest decks to play in standard, I think Jeska Oculus is a walk in the park compared to this deck. Like this deck there's so much calculations and like setting up and like man. And yeah, we would have won this game if not for the instant speed way of destroying my Agatha Soul Cauldron. Yep. And if not for me, maybe playing better, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, this was my second match with this configuration of the deck. I did play Roots in the past, but I'm certainly not as, you know, like I'm a little rusty with the archetype, you could say. And I think content-wise, I'm gonna leave it at that. This is 1 hour and 30 of content almost. I think you got a good picture of how this deck works. I guess it's promising. This not like I can't really say for sure. We did 2-0 the Izzet player. Again, I feel like the deck is somewhat like a little too reliant on roots. There's a lot of hate in the format, like people playing High Noon, which is kind of good against the root stuff. And then like a lot of disenchants running around, temporary lockdowns, exercises played, and Jeskai control. Get Lost is a card that all these white control decks have to blow up the roots, you know, and then without the roots, the deck becomes a lot less exciting. So I would say I'm skeptical on it, but hey, it's definitely a deck that you can pick up. I mean, it just top 8 it. And it certainly has game against like Izzet Prowess, as they don't have a good way of interacting with Insidious Roots. They kind of need like Spell Pierce, which, you know, may hit it early, but doesn't hit it later, especially with the Mana Dogs being good against Spell Pierce. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting, I guess, like having a decent Izzet matchup, but then I don't know, all the white decks seem a little, maybe a little troublesome. All right, well, that was Roots, black-green Roots, back with a top 8, back from the dead. Maybe you'd get something good in Final Fantasy, who knows? And yeah, thank you for watching as always. I hope to see you next time. Take care, guys.